I am honored to have a good friend. We've been friends a long time.
That's right.
And this is Jesse from RetroPez.
RetroPez.
Starting a new channel, and he is here. And here you're going to see more of him. He's going to actually be at Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
I was officially invited to speak.
And I'm really excited. We're here to talk about Atari Jaguar.
That's right.
And we have a lot to talk about.
30 years, man. Can't believe it.
30 years. Such a great journey. And, you know, when people hear the console, there's lots of thoughts, good and bad, ups and downs. And so we're going to start there. But you brought something really special, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, like, what's Atari Jaguar to you? So it's 30 years. So what's your connection to Atari Jaguar?
Man, when I was a kid, we started with Atari in the house, 2600.
Oh, yeah.
Dad bought the 800 XL computer. In fact, many a times when I got in trouble, he would sit me in front of the computer with an old Compute magazine, and he would hand me a page and say, all right, until you can get this program running, you're grounded. So, you know, as a kid, I started out as Atari. It's always been in my life, always been in our family. And so, you know, Jaguar being the last of the greatest console, we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I was just talking about this online. So I was like a Sega kid, and I really kind of stuck with my Sega Genesis with the Sega CD add-on and the 32X.
The Tower of Power.
But really, you know, by the mid to late 90s, I was kind of done with Sega. Like I'd kind of ready to move on. I got a used Nintendo 64, but I remember KB Toys having clearance Atari Jaguar stuff.
Yes.
And that's how I got mine.
Man, I wish I was making money when I was a kid when that happened.
And that's how me and a friend of mine got one, and that's actually how we traded games. That's how my experience with Atari Jaguar is really when it was discontinued. Mm-hmm. So 96, I think, was the last official game, and then, you know, there was some aftermarket stuff, and 30 years later.
30 years later.
It's nuts.
Here
it's
we
nuts.
are.
So yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the console, and I know that it has a lot of laughs and chuckles when people hear it, but it is quite capable.
Where did you learn to fly?
Oh yeah, that's right. So, you know, like for me, collecting it and playing it, you know, Tempest 2000, Alien vs. Predator.
Great stuff.
Oh, I mean, those are just timeless classics. But
Doom.
You know, oh yeah, Doom is really good on it. And actually, they're working on a enhanced version, Doom Slayer Edition. Nice. It looks amazing, and looks like it's greatly enhanced version of Doom on the Jaguar. I don't know if it's going to be on physical, but they're working really hard on it. If you want more information, the subforums on Atari Age has some great information. I'm offering a game on cartridge at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, Block'em Sock'em.
Yeah, man. That's one of my favorite games right now.
Well,
in fact, I got it loaded up on the old Steam Deck.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to play it, it's free. It's free to download. I did a video on that, and you can run it in the Big P emulator, the Jaguar version, and you can play it for free. And so, but yeah, there'll be a cart-only version. Albert of Atari Age made it at cost, and I'm offering it at cost. There'll be 30 cartridges for the low price of $25 a piece.
One of them's going to be mine.
clear cartridges will be offered at Portland Retro Gaming Expo. We're here to talk about something special.
So, PRGE 2019.
Yeah.
I came across some really cool item that I gave to...
That's right.
Mr. Hancock right here. Go for it.
So this is just a shell, but it's a very special shell because it has this on it.
IMAGIN. So this is an official IMAGIN Jaguar shell.
And, you know, Jaguar in the end was kind of dire straits. Like, so they were, you know, in another video Adam Korlick did, So we got to do a shout out to him.
Right.
It's on his channel. Actually shows the other half of the story, but IMAGIN, I do believe they bought the rights because Atari was selling the molds.
That's right. Well, all of their assets were being sold, and one of them was the mold. And the owner of IMAGIN Systems had a very similar design. And we went to go to the warehouse to talk about upgrades or changes to the design of the shell. That's when the guy at the warehouse was like, "Hey, you know, a company called Atari, they went out of business, and we got this thing here. I think you might be interested in." And so he was like, "All right, let's take a look at it." And so he got to see the shell, and he was like, "Man, that's pretty cool. It's a lot more futuristic than the camera system I have now." So for like less than $2,000, he got the whole setup.
That's
the
crazy.
Molds, he got the CD and the cartridge mold. No controller though. Someone else got that. You know, being a dental company, they didn't need the controller. So
it's pretty nuts.
So fast forward 2017, Adam that we talked about he had done a retrospect on the Jaguar, and at the end of his video he mentioned something about how it became some kind of medical equipment. But again, it was like everybody else, it was just kind of like a myth. And so doing a search online, you could just see posters and brochures about the system, but no one's really actually seen the real one. And so I reached out onto eBay to see if I could find one of these shells, just like what John here has. And sure enough, I found on eBay a shell. I ordered it. It arrived. And when I looked at the address on the package, it said it was the Bay Area. And I was like, man, could it be the real people? So I called the owner. And I said, "Hey, I'm going to be in the area. Is it cool I stop by and pick up a few more items? You know, just because I wanted to put it on my wall. And I wanted to see if they had the wall mount. Did I get you that?
Not the wall mount.
Just the
shell, but I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And then you got me I think that's the button, right?
Yeah, so I've got a drawer full of these. Still.
Because you were asking if you gave me the button, and I think I put it on here just so I wouldn't lose it.
Wouldn't lose it, yeah. So it's clear button, clear.
And this fits, by the way, on an actual.
So yeah,
working
the
console.
only part that was actually modified was the bottom shell, and that was because he had re-engineered this camera system to fit into the Jaguar shell. With a little bit of modification to the bottom shell, because he had made a custom bracket for everything to go in. So, and the way they did it was it was reversible. So they didn't destroy the shell mold. They were able to do it in such a way to be able to reverse that and bring it back to original.
That's crazy.
So, after going to the Bay and picking up a few items, which that's one of those items there, Steve asked me what do I do. I told him about my electronics background and how I like to make custom consoles and stuff, and he was like, "Man, I need a guy like you. Give me your resume." So 2 weeks later, man, I'm working there.
Yeah.
So I work at IMAGIN Systems. It's a dental repair company in the Bay Area, San Francisco, in the peninsula.
So you've been doing that over 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So
yeah.
So then, out of the blue, one of the doctors calls the office and says, "Hey, I got a couple of camera systems. What do you want them, or do I just throw them away?" And at that time, Steve said, "Yeah, just go ahead and toss them." And then he sat there and he was thinking, and I was in the office, and he was like, "Man, I wonder if it was because only a couple. I think he was the only customer that actually bought, because we have all the other demo units." So he calls the doctor back, and the doctor is like, "Yeah, they're the hot rods." And he's like, "Hold on a moment, I got a guy. He'll go pick them up." And that was me. So I went, picked up the box, took it to the office, and Steve opens it up. Steve's the owner. He looks in there, and there's two of them. Two systems in this box. So he pulls one out, and he says, here you go. You can have this one.
Oh, man.
And so right here, this is not a game console.
No.
It's not a shell. This is the real camera system that actually took pictures of people's teeth. It was real. So you see right there that these are two ports where the camera wands plug in. And then this guy right here is the connection to the wall mount so that it would pass the video through to the picture.
Yeah.
So the Sony video printer, and then it would output to a CRT monitor. This is like old school.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And so here it is.
That's crazy. It's pretty nuts. Check it right there.
History right there.
And then right there, the ports he's talking about. Pretty nuts.
So
That is so neat. I am so thankful that you came, and you came a long ways.
Yes.
And then you're going to be coming back in a couple weeks to Portland Retro Gaming Expo to talk about it.
That's right. So Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
That's awesome.
The Video Game History Foundation, which is Frank and Kelsey Lewin.
Yep.
Yeah. So Frank reached out to me. He says he had saw this at Long Island Retro Gaming Expo and just about had a heart attack, and he was able to finally get a hold of me and set it up so that we can put this on display in the museum where your Jaguar collection is going to be.
And links.
Yep. So if you want to actually see this in person and actually take pictures and have a little bit of a souvenir from this awesome piece of Atari Jaguar history, it's going to be set up. You can actually go over there and play with it.
That's pretty awesome. And you've brought this to other conventions, but yeah, rare is this amount of Jaguar and Link stuff together in one spot. And there's going to be Atari Age there. They're going to be selling additional Homebrew and Aftermarket games for the Atari Jaguar, as well as Songbird Productions is actually going to be.
They got some good stuff.
Yes, they do. So it's going to be awesome. And I do believe there's going to be a developers panel at PRGE this year talking about Atari Jaguar and just the heyday and the craziness. And
it's going to do an Atari 30 as well.
Yeah,
Jaguar 30 as well. Yeah,
I think so.
I'm going to be part of that.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yeah,
I'll be with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. So, anyways, thank you so much for coming on the channel and sharing this great piece of history. And it's an honor. And where can people find you?
So, all of my socials are moving over to Retro Pez. So, I'm going to do a link in the description.
Yep.
So, alllinks.com/retropez. All of my links will be there, so you can follow me and check this thing out, along with other cool retro stuff.
Yeah, he's uploading some cool stuff, and thank you so much for watching this. Had a lot of fun. Thought I'd do a little something different today. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell for both of us.
That's right.
And you folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and
Jesse from Retro Pez.
You take care.